Hi, fifth graders. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. We are going to talk today about Unit 2, Lesson 3, all about conserving mass. All right, so take a look at what we have done this week. We are on Friday. Hopefully you've taken care of the other lessons and quick checks in this week. So today you'll learn about conserving mass and then do the quick check that goes along with it. As you're watching this video and going through this lesson, please make sure you're taking notes, either by writing it out on the pages that you printed or typing it into the Google Slide note pages that have been provided for you. That will be so helpful in doing your quick checks and in preparing for your tests that you're going to have in a couple weeks. All right, so what are we talking about? Well, this is called the Law of Conservation of Mass. So, Law of Conservation of Mass is a scientific law in chemistry. Now, normally when we think of a law, we think of a very serious rule that we have to follow, or we'll get in trouble or have consequences. But in science, it's a little bit different. A scientific law is basically something that is an idea or a statement that is true. It is a fact all the time. So it's something we can prove to be true all the time. The fact or truth that we're learning about in the law of conservation of mass is that mass cannot be created or destroyed. Let's dive a little deeper into this by looking at some vocabulary. First, let's review what matter is. Last semester we learned what matter was, so you may still remember. Matter is anything that takes up space and has mass. So, it could be a gas, right? Think about helium that takes up space inside a balloon when we blow up the balloon. It could be a liquid. Think about the water that takes up space in the cup that you might be holding. Or think about these apples that are taking up space on the page. Anything that takes up space and has a mass is matter. Now, what is mass? Well, mass is the amount of matter in an object. So if we think about, let's say, an elephant and a cat, an elephant takes up a lot more space, so it has a lot more matter inside of it, right? So its mass is going to be higher than the cat, who doesn't take up much space and doesn't have as much matter, so it will have the lower mass. Mass is usually measured in grams or kilograms. So, thinking about these definitions, going back to our law, mass, or the amount of matter inside something that takes to make up a gas, a liquid, or a solid, cannot be created or destroyed. Let's look at some examples. First of all, we have these blocks. Each of these blocks has a mass of 2 grams. So how much matter is in each of these blocks? 2 grams. So I'm going to put 2, 2, 2. Each one has 2 grams. Then we have this like rectangular thin blue block right here. It is just 1 gram. So how much mass or how much matter is in it? 1 gram. And then finally the mass of the triangle block is 3. So I'll put a 3 right there. So the mass of an object is equal to the sum of its parts. This means if you add the mass of each piece, the sum, or the total, will be equal to the mass of the object when it is put together. So really quick, take a second and add up all of these numbers. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3. All right, I'll give you just a second to think about it. All right, are you ready? Let's go over and see what it equals. 12. When we took all of these parts and put them together, it equals 12 grams. If we were to separate them back out again, it would go back to 3, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. The mass of the object is equal to the sum, adding, of all the parts when we add the masses of each part together. It will give us the mass of the entire object. So when we added all of these different parts right here, we got the mass of the whole structure, the whole thing that we built. It is 12 grams. So the sum, or adding up all the parts, will give you the mass of the whole item. Okay, keep that in mind. So let's take a look. Let's pretend like we're drinking some tea. Everybody put your tea pinkies up. Drink some tea. All right, so we have some tea, but that tea is not quite sweet enough. So we want to add some honey to it. Well, the tea is 170 grams. That's its mass. That's how much matter is in it. And the honey is 4 grams. That's its mass. That's how much matter is in the honey. After I pour the honey in and mix it all together, what do we think the mass of the entire drink will be? Do you have any ideas? If you said 174 grams, you are correct. To find the mass of my tea with the honey mixed in, we just add the mass of the honey and the tea together to find the sum, to find the total. We mixed it around and it dissolved, the honey dissolved or melted into the tea, but we did not create any new matter. I didn't snap my fingers and make new liquid or new honey or new anything up here, and I also didn't take anything away either. The molecules just worked together to make the sweetness of the honey spread throughout my tea. So, no mass or matter was created or destroyed. It was just mixed. The two parts added together to equal my whole new drink. All right, let's look at this as molecules. If you've ever heard about water being called H2O, that is the scientific name for water because it has 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule, H2O. So let's pretend like we have these molecules and we want to create water. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our oxygen, which is 8 grams of oxygen, and we're going to add it to 1 gram of hydrogen, and that's going to give us some water. So how many grams of water should that give us? What do you think? If you said 9, you are correct, because we're not adding any extra mass or matter, and we're not taking any away. We're just putting them together. We're just combining them. And in this case, we're making a new substance, water. All right. Now, this can also work backwards. Let me show you what I mean. Let's pretend like I have this salad right here. And while I'm very grateful for my salad, I'm not a big fan of cherry tomatoes. So I want to take the cherry tomatoes off of my salad. The salad with the cherry tomatoes is 80 grams. If I take those cherry tomatoes away, taking away 10 grams, and all I have left is the lettuce or the salad by itself, how many grams do you think it will weigh? Kind of working backwards here. We're going to subtract now instead of add. What do you guys think? Well, if you said 70 grams, you are correct. Now, did I create any new foods? No. Did I destroy the cherry tomatoes and make them disappear? No. I just separated them. Okay, so sometimes we're going to separate matter or separate mixtures or even do some things where chemical reactions might be separated. But in the end, we're not creating anything new and we're not destroying anything or making it disappear. We're just moving the molecules or the pieces around. That's the whole idea of law of conservation of mass. So, maybe you're thinking, what about chemical changes? Look at this, Miss Callahan. He poured something in and all this bubbles and foam and gas and liquid just went everywhere. Sure does look like he created something new to me. Well, yes, he may have created a new substance, but he did not add any more matter or take away any matter. Let me show you what I mean. This is basically what that guy in the last video just did. He had some vinegar. We'll say he had about 22 grams of vinegar inside the test tube, and he added 8 grams of baking soda to it. Okay, so we've got our vinegar, we've got our baking soda, and he added them to it. The way he could have added it so that everything didn't go exploding everywhere would have been to put the baking soda inside the balloon and then put the balloon on top. That way nothing will escape. Nothing will shoot out. It will all get trapped right here in the balloon. So that way we can accurately measure what the mass is of everything. You see this liquid right here, the vinegar, and the solid, the baking soda, they're reacting together to make bubbles and gas. And that gas is escaping in the video we just saw. But here it gets trapped in the balloon, so it can't escape. So now we can measure the solid, the liquid, and all the little bubbles and everything together, so nothing gets taken away. In the video you just saw, we would have had to somehow get all of the bubbles and all of the gas and all of the liquid that went everywhere and measure the mass of it to see what the whole sum was. But capturing it in the balloon, we can have it all in one place. So thinking about all that, if I have 22 grams over here that I'm starting with of liquid and 8 grams of baking soda, what should the mass of this entire thing be in the end? What do you think? If you said 30 grams, you are correct. It should be about 30 grams. Now, maybe a little bit of gas might have escaped out of the balloon, a little bit, but so sometimes it might be a little bit less than the sum that when we add them together, but it's going to be pretty close. It'll never be more or it'll never be a lot less because we're not adding more matter or taking away any matter. We're just putting it all in different places, either letting it explode out into the atmosphere like he did in his video, or moving the matter into a gas form into our balloon. Either way, the matter is just moving around. It's not being destroyed or created, okay? So, back to our law that we're learning about. The law of conservation of mass says that mass cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. It can be mixed, it can be rearranged, it can be spread out or condensed together, but we cannot make it new like we're magicians and just make things appear. And we cannot make it disappear like we have a magic wand and say, poof, it's gone. We can only rearrange it, change its state, or move it around. So think about that and let that help you as you move on to your quick check for today. Have a good day, everybody.